Hello, welcome back to our channel, and this is the Bible Reading Project. And today I'll be sharing with you the answer of a question of what is the Bible. Now, take note that the answer of that question has three parts. Okay? The question of what is the Bible has an answer, but the answer also is of three parts. Now, if you are new to this channel, I would like to ask you to help us promote this channel, spread the good news around the world by liking, subscribe, and by sharing. So I have with me the New Revised Standard Version, the Green Bible. Okay, so let's start with the first part of the answer of the question, what is the Bible? Now, the answer of the first part is the structure. The Bible is divided into two parts. Now, the first part is the Old Testament, and the second part is the New Testament. Now, the very beginning of the Bible, the very first part of the Bible is the New Testament. So, I'd like to show you now. So, here. So, we have the Old Testament starting with the book of Genesis and ended with, of course, the book of Malachi. I will show you. So this is the last book of the Bible, the book of Malachi here. Now, in total, there are 39 books of the Old Testament. Okay? In total, there are 39 books of the Old Testament. This was written around 1400 BCE up to 400 BCE. Now, let's go to the New Testament. The New Testament starts somewhere here of the Bible. So if you try to look at the entire thickness of the Bible, it is like 70% is of the Old Testament, and the remaining 30% is of the New Testament. So this is the New Testament here. It begins with the book of Matthew and it ends up with the book of Revelation. Now, the Old Testament was written around 1400 BCE again, up to 400 BCE. And there was somewhat like a silent years, like 400, more than 400 years of silent years that no one is writing of a book for the Bible. But take note, the silent years is, we will have to discuss that one later because the one that we are discussing right now, the one that the Bible that we are trying to describe right now in answering the question of what is the Bible is the Protestant Bible. So particularly the question, what is the Bible, it will be asked particularly on what is really the Bible of the Protestants. Okay, so what is the Bible? Again, the structure, there are two parts: the Old Testament and the New Testament. The Old Testament has 39 books, the New Testament has 27 books. It was written for more than 1,000 years. 1,000 years for the Old Testament, 1,400 BCE up to 400 BCE, and the New Testament is from 45 AD to 95 AD. How many years? Somewhat like 60, yeah, 60 years, or 50 years, somewhat like 50 years, yeah, or 60, yeah. So it's like 50 years. So 50 years for the New Testament, 1,000 years for the Old Testament. 1,050 years. That's so long. None in the human history a book that was written for that long, 1,050 years. None. And this was written by approximately 40 different writers. Why writers? Because we believe that the author of the Bible is really God, but the one who wrote it, which are human beings, are around approximately 40. Now, the second part of the answer of the question, what is the Bible, is that the besides with the authorship that is said it was written for for like more than 1,000 years, the the book has the Bible is very meaningful, that it is that they are really synchronized. They are so harmonious that each writer did not contradict with each other. So aside from the structure, there is harmony of the Bible. The writers are in harmony with each other, in spite that it was written for more than 1,000 years, and in spite that there are three continents where the writers are writing the books of the Bible. It includes Asia, Europe, and Africa. None of the book in history, again, that was written for more than 1,000 years and written in these three locations, three continents, Asia, Africa, and Europe. So again, the first answer is on the structure. It's quite complicated because it has two parts and it has 69 books as of the Protestant version, and with 40 authors. It has from it is written in three continents and for more than 1,000 years. Yet they are harmoniously, yeah, written, complementing with each other, well organized. That it did not contradict with each other. So that is the second part. The other is that on the themes, the Bible was characterized into various themes. There are various themes. I will be sharing with you five themes in the entire Bible. And by the way, if you try to look at the Bible, before I go with the five themes, I would like to tell you that the Bible is somewhat, very easy to understand if you try to see it in this lens. That the very first part of the Bible in the book of Genesis, Genesis chapter 1, talks about God creating a paradise. And if you go to Genesis, Revelation, the last book of the Bible, this is about also the new heaven and new earth, the new paradise. So for me, the very first part of the Bible is talking about Eden, the paradise, and the last pages of the Bible is talking about the new heaven and the new earth, the heavenly paradise. So the cover to cover of the Bible is about a paradise. However, everything here at the middle tells about human suffering. And I guess this is what makes the Bible unique because it summarizes a millennia of human suffering for us to learn and for us to to learn and not to do it again and to make our lives better. So, the last part is of the answer of the question, what is the Bible, is the themes. So again, we are talking about the structure, the the harmony of each part, that the Bible is in harmony with each other, and the last part is the themes. Now there are five themes actually. The first one is God's nature and character. The second one is on humanity's condition. The third is salvation and redemption. The fourth one is covenant. And the fifth one is hope and future. Now take note, all these five is what is in here. In spite of all the sufferings, the positive aspects are those themes that God's nature and his character, that God really is a very good God. Second, the humanity's condition, even we are suffering, yet there is, hope for us that we are worthy to be saved. And that salvation and redemption, it is centered in God, and of course the covenant. That's God's dealing with his people throughout history, from the time of Adam up to the present. And we have hope and a future. The Bible tells us something. Even in the age of AI, the Bible is telling us that there is hope and there is a future for us. And this is always the source of human flourishing, of human happiness, human development, human progress. This is it. I would like to tell you that the question of what is the Bible is really the source of human inspiration, source of our direction for the future. It is not just the past, it's not just the present, But the future of humanity, if we just try to look at this wonderful book, our future will change for the better, brighter. Thank you for listening. I hope you like and subscribe, share, support our channel to spread the good news about the Bible. Thank you and have a good day, everyone. Welcome again to the Bible Reading Project.